To be honest, I wasn't expecting to be making this video. I did that what if FF7 had the same base game content as the other third party series just to kill time and recharge after finishing the previous batch of videos. I didn't think we'd get Sephiroth announced and thus actual Final Fantasy VII content just over a month later, so I thought I'd compare what I said in that video to what we actually got. Of course, the big thing to remember is that the first video wasn't a prediction for a DLC pack, it was a hypothetical on the base game, and things have changed between December 2018 and December 2020. That and SNK aside, DLC series don't tend to get as much as base game does. So music first. I guessed 4 tracks correctly, 3 of them in the form they get incorrectly too. Those being Aerith's theme as a remix and Genova and One Winged Angel as their originals. I got the presence of opening bombing mission, but I had it down as the original with the opening removed to get into the action quicker. Main theme of Final Fantasy VII and Cosmo Canyon I did consider for the first video, but in the end I was just focused more on battle themes or other more fast paced music. The High Wind Takes to the Skies I included mainly for being a faster paced arrangement of the main theme. I did guess that music outside of the original would get in, but I got which one wrong. I was not at all expecting Advent Children to get music. I thought the video game only rule would apply to the music too. The only song we've had from a non-video game product was Checker Knights from the Kirby anime, and that hasn't been seen since Brawl. I guess Advent Children is an exception for a couple reasons. First is that all 3 songs are not only arrangements of songs from the original game, they're arrangements of songs that are also in Ultimate. So whether or not tracks original to the film like Divinity 2 or Battle in the Forgotten City were eligible is still unknown. Second is that unlike, for example, the Pokemon anime or the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, Advent Children is not only in continuity with the original game, it was made fully within Square Enix and not an outside company that would require extra licensing. It's much closer to the game than any other outside media another franchise in Smash has. If I wanted to cheat and make a big stretch, I could say that I guessed a second version of Let the Battles Begin just for I got the version wrong, but no, I will not do that. Next I'll cover the Mii costumes. I got Barret and the Return of the Chocobo hat right, as did every other living creature on the planet. Then I only got Tifa half right. I specifically said that I thought they'd pick the Advent Children costume because I couldn't imagine the original costume on a Mii's body. I was completely wrong there. Then there was Aerith, who I really should have guessed. They've had staff revealed as the sword fighters before with Ashley and the Reedy. I don't know, I just thought if one of the 3 was to not get a costume, it'd be her. And I was probably just being too clever for my own good trying to go a bit more obscure with the Turk costume. Looking back, yeah, the business suit I used for the Rude and Song Miis from the base game is close enough that there probably isn't any need for a similar one but blue and costs real money. And finally the spirits. First thing I'll point out is that most of them were not stamina battles like all but one were in my previous video. So, Cloud did get his artwork from the original game for his fire spirit. His Advent Children costume still uses this Smash render. So for Tifa I got the music, spirit rank, spirit type and character right, but like with the Mii costume I based the Brawler's look on Advent Children instead of the original. The game gave her the protective gear in white instead of the fighter uniform in black I chose. I went with Smashville, but the game went with Reset Bomb Forest. I guess being surrounded by mountains makes it closer to Nibelheim, and you could imagine the section you fight on to be the well. I also got right that buying the Mii costume would have her wear that instead, but that's really obvious. With Barret I once again got the music, character and rank right, but I got the type wrong. He's a shield type, not attack. I also got the stage correct. I did get the Mii outfit wrong though. I chose a brown standard outfit while the game went with the green Wild West wear. Instead of referencing Marlene, the game first has you fight Mii's made to resemble Biggs, Wedge and Jessie. So even though they didn't get their own spirit battle, I still got them wrong. What I did get right though was the exploding items rule. Like Tifa, he also wears his Mii costume if you bought it. With Aerith I once again got the character, rank, type and music right, and even Zelda's colour. I also got her being backed up by Cloud right. She doesn't start with a lipstick and there are no healing items, but she is healed after a while. The stages I chose were meant to represent the Sector 5 church, but instead they went with Fountain of Dreams. Based on the look of the stage and the watery floor, I guess this is supposed to represent the Forgotten Capital. Red 13 I got every aspect wrong except for being an attack type primary. Duck Hunt Duo instead of Wolf. Duck Hunt Duo was my first guess for obvious reasons, but I thought Wolf with his claws and missing an eye would be what they'd go for. Gerudo Valley instead of Street Pass Quest. Gerudo Valley was another one I considered, but I went for the Street Pass Quest because of the colour of the sky mainly. I didn't have Cosmo Canyon on my music list, so that was wrong too. Plus all the conditions that I didn't guess. Of course I didn't come up with a spirit battle for Ketshi, who I got so wrong I even pronounced his name wrong in the last video. No DLC has come with summonable spirits, so whatever I came up with would have been wrong regardless. The only reason I went that route was because I just couldn't think of the battle, and even the one they went with I only half get. New Park City standing in for Gold Saucer, yeah that works well. One of the Koopalings, so it's a small guy riding a white thing with a face. Now that I think about it, it's a pretty good choice that I never considered. But why Roy in particular? And what? Never mind, just writing it now, I get the Game & Watchers. It's their judgment move. He has a random number and Ketchi is a gambler with his limits having many random outcomes. Glad I figured that one out or I'd have looked silly. Still not sure why it's Roy though. All of the reason for the picture chat music. I also got his rank wrong. Sid is another I got only the spirit type right. Got the rank wrong though. I went with Captain Falcon for being a sort of pilot, but instead they went with Link I guess for both the colour scheme and his down air being similar to the Dragoon's jump. The halberd makes more sense to stand in for the high wind. I went with pilot wings to represent the tiny Bronco. The song I chose wasn't in the game and there are no motion sensor bombs like I guessed. He also gets helped by the Jeff Assist trophy firing off rockets, and I wish I predicted that one because it just makes so much sense. I never once thought of the rocket coming up with his spirit battle. With Vincent I only got the stage right. Rank, type, battle conditions, music and character were all wrong. I went with Falcor because of them both being loners and having guns, but I guess I went with Wolf instead because of either the Galleon Beast or the metal claw glove Vincent wears. Andy's just the one character, no references to all the limits. For music they went with Nothing to Lose, Dracula's battle theme. It makes sense with Vincent's design. Yuffie I got almost everything right. Character, costume, spirit type and the iron gravitation. I got the rank wrong, the music was Cosmo Canyon instead of Let the Battles Begin, and the stage was Gawa Plain instead of Suzaku Castle. I did originally think of the stage to reference Finding Her in a Forest, but decided for Suzaku Castle to reference Wutai instead. The Chocobo shares a spirit with a Moogle and uses the Final Fantasy VII Remake render instead. I got it being a novice right, but everything else was wrong. I chose Falco for being a bird, instead they went with a single Mii brawler in the Isaac wig with the white Kirby as the Moogle. I was 50-50 between using Gawa Plain or Garden of Hope as a Chocobo Forest, but I just went with the wrong one. I'm also not sure why Flower Field specifically for the music since it doesn't really make me think of either personally. Coco showing up is also another one that just feels really obvious now. It also wears a Chocobo hat if you bought it. E3 I got mostly right. Red Bowser, North Air, Attack Type, Fight On and Lava Floor I got right, but Bowser isn't Giant, he's Ace and not Novice, North Air is Omega Form and not Battlefield, he uses the remake render instead of the Smash one, and there were other conditions I missed. Even though I was specifically referencing Final Fantasy VIII in my video, an E3 Spirit Battle was always going to be like this regardless. Next is the only spirit I didn't include in that video, Shiva. That was only because I was doing Midgar summons only and she isn't in it. Since I have nothing to compare to, all I can say is this is really close to what I would have guessed. I would have got the character wrong though. Instead of Zero Suit Samus, I would have probably guessed Zelda, since I associate the ice with magic, which would have made me think Zelda. Bahamut Zero, I got the spirit type and rank correct, along with using the Smash render. I also got the sudden final Smash right. I got Giant Ridley right, but the wrong costume, and there's only one to represent just Zero. I also got the stage wrong, and the music I chose wasn't in the game. The music they did choose, Those Who Fight Further from Mad Children, is what plays during the fight with Bahamut Sin though. Finally, two spirits I thought of combined, the Turks and Rufus Shinra. First I got Rudens Song right, but Elena was also a Mii Gunner too. Reno I guess is a sword fighter, but only after buying a Mii costume that didn't happen. Instead of Fox, Rufus is a male Robin in white with a steel diver. This makes much more sense. Not just for the white coat, but Robin being the tactician also worked for the president of a huge company. Instead of Midgar it's Farside. Whether to represent Junon or just one of the Midgar sector's residential areas I don't know. The two songs I had for both spirit battles weren't in the game, but Those Who Fight for Mad Children is what plays while Reno and Rouge fight Yazoo and Loz, so it's a good choice. And yeah, that's it. Got a lot of stuff right and got a lot wrong. Don't want to spend too long making this video since at the time of making this I still have 23 Street Fighter 2 playthroughs left to do for episode 15 of my main videos out of the 90 I had planned before I can start working on episode 14. Still not good at ending videos, but it would be really crappy if I did the same thing as last time.